do it for the red, I do it for the white, I do it for the black. It doubles with a slight Isaac Trini.
Welcome back to Youth Elect TT, reminding you that we're powered by Slam 100.5, CNC 3, Sangeet 106.1 FM, 95.1 FM, The Best Mix, and The Guardian newspapers. It's that time where we meet our final candidate today. His name, Brendan O'Brien.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As they say, we have saved the best for last. Here to present for you as a young man I clearly know quite well. An outspoken activist, a driven youth leader, and a passionate volunteer with his finger on the pulse of this nation's most pressing social issues. So here to help us take back TNT with plenty creativity, plenty accountability, plenty vibes, and plenty action is my brother, our future Youth Prime Minister, Brendan O'Brien. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a general election year. And while I would rather not look to the past, it doesn't take perfect eyesight to see that our leaders lack a 2020 vision. In the last decade alone, we've seen state finances be appropriated for private gain and even some corporate entities fleeing with our funds. We've seen politicians involved in sex scandals, abuse scandals, indecency scandals, and even illegal drug abuse scandals from members of cabinet or men closely resembling them. We've even seen the silencing of news media by those in power, from prime ministers storming radio stations in the last administration to TV hosts inexplicably being removed from programs in this one. In the last decade, journalists have been suffering from everything from direct government interference to alleged government smear campaigns and even in some cases death threats. From my perspective as a former journalist, long-time activist and performer, and as your advocate on youth issues, it becomes clear to me that I could be silenced, we all could be silenced for the words that I share with you all today. But I will say it still. The governance that we've been made to accept has amounted to nothing more than taking power away from the people. They say that in our democracy, we don't vote people in, we just vote them out. And that means to me that instead of voting for the candidates that we believe serve our interests, we are left with no choice but the lesser of two evils. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny whether some among the candidates wake up with the rising sun, or have balize growing in their backyard, or even if some of them going green. That is not my business. But it becomes apparent to me that we cannot stand here, young men and women, and have this opportunity for youth political power be polluted by the same politics that we've come here to avoid. The first youth prime minister that you vote for should not be one beholden to already existing political interests, but whose only political interest is the people to be served. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, that is why you should vote for me, Brendan O'Brien, the nappy-headed young man standing before you and planning to stand with you as we take back TNT. Blessings, compassion, peace, and love, everybody.
Brendan has left me a bit speechless, to be honest. When he started to speak, when you began your speech, the place got quiet. And I think that's, you commanded the attention of the audience, and that says a lot. You've mentioned a lot of things in your speech, and I'm still trying to figure out what the focus was. And I think that you're saying that all of these problems exist. There are things that threaten freedom of the press. There are issues of corruption and nepotism and mismanagement in public funds and so on, and you are the change.
I think that I'll take Golda's point as my jumping off point, that your link with your audience was tremendous. You came out there and clearly people had either you have your whole family structure in the audience who came cheering for you, or people were really persuaded by what you had to say. Having said that, I liked your references that went not just into the woes of any current administration, but you alluded to some events that had taken place in a previous time, a previous era when there were different people in power, which shows a certain even-handedness in terms of how you lash in the blow.
Vote for this candidate. Remember, it's hashtag YouthElectTT Brendan O'Brien.
I think my presentation went really well. I had the crowd support, I had the interest. The judges' comments were, I understand the judges' comments. I think that they're right to a lot of it. But my concern is, I think vision and letting people buy into your vision, making sure that people know that you're with them and for them and that you see the issues. That's what I was interested in talking about tonight, and I think I did a good job of that. I think the audience agrees. Of course, the next time around, I'm definitely going to start dealing with some issues bit by bit, because now we need to start shaping the vision and sending us down that road to taking back TNT.
Once again, we take a short break. When we come back, we remind you of how you can vote and how you can have your voice heard. Stay with us.
So wave your back now.